Thank you, Larry, and greetings, Olympians. It looks like we've got quite the crowd with us here tonight.
Greetings, Olympians, and welcome to Kid for a Night 2021. It's a special evening where all of us will go the distance to support the best and brightest athletes in the games. Those are the kids at St. Luke's Children's. My name is Larry Flynn, and I'll be your coach for tonight's festivities. I'm coming to you live from the media room here at St. Luke's Children's Training Center. I want to thank you all for choosing to be here and tune in with us tonight. We know there are a lot of other things you could be doing on a Friday night in June, and we're super grateful you chose to join us for one of our favorite events of the year. Kid for a Night 2020 was hosted from outer space, giving a whole new meaning to virtual events. And together, we raised over $500,000 to benefit pediatric services and COVID-19 relief efforts at St. Luke's. Even though you're not spending the evening at the Boise Center with 850 of your closest friends, we hope your heart for St. Luke's Children's remains the same. Our celebration tonight is virtual, but the children and families we're helping tonight are very real. Soon you'll hear from families impacted by St. Luke's Children's, and you'll learn just why your support is so vital. Throughout the night, we'll remind you how you can make a donation, so please consider helping kids at St. Luke's who need us now more than ever. I'd like to turn it over now to some of St. Luke's and Idaho's finest for our first ever virtual torch passing opening ceremony. Yeah, was that exciting or what? Tonight, I think we're going to have a lot of fun and raise a lot of money, so let the games begin. A few housekeeping items for this evening to help everything run smoothly. If you haven't done so already, click on that green Register to Bid button at the top of your screen to register as a bidder, or head straight to kfan2021.ggo.bid to get started. You'll see 3 bars on the upper left-hand side of your bidding screen. That's where the menu is. You can search, sort items by category, view the items you've placed bids on, and a whole lot more just by clicking that button. If you find a favorite item tonight that you'd like to keep an eye on, just click the star button next to that item's image to add it to your favorites. The auction will be open until 9 o'clock tomorrow night, so get your bids in while you can. We're giving you time to get the kids to bed and to give you a little more time to determine what your high bid will be. If you need help with anything during the program this evening, please call our helpline. That number is at the bottom of your screen, and our volunteers are standing by. We've got a few very special people who'd love to share an Olympic-sized thank you with our sponsors this year.
Thank you, Dana Norco Foundation.
Thank you so much, Norco.
Thank you, Opry.
Thank you to our gold and silver sponsors, Berkeley Building Company, CBH Homes, Dyckman, KeyBank, Select Health, Jacobs Engineering Group, Locked-In Companies, and Micron. And also thank you to our bronze sponsors, Aaron's D'Angeli Law Group, Anesthesia Associates of Boise, DMA Lighting, Emergency Medicine of Idaho, Ørsted Architects, HP Inc., Idaho Central Credit Union, Idaho Power, Layton Construction Company, Morrison Knudsen Foundation, Point Core Construction, Regents Blue Shield of Idaho, J.R. Simplot Company, the Caprock Group, Turbo Air, and U.S. Bank. And last but not least, thank you to our podium and table sponsors you see on your screen tonight. Oh, it sounds like we've got Jeff Seelick down at the foundation with a special welcome message. Jeff, are you there?
Thanks, Larry. Philanthropy runs deep in all the communities we serve. It's crucial to the quality care patients expect and deserve. It allows us to weather storms like the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2020, donors gave more to St. Luke's than ever before, a record-setting $15 million across the region to support exceptional health care in their local communities. Donors showed up and supported us in every way imaginable. Thank you. In the midst of the pandemic, generous community members reached out to St. Luke's Children's offering help. We are so grateful for this outpouring of generosity that supports our COVID-19 efforts, as well as our pediatric patients, families, and staff. With so much going on in the world today, it's hard to know where you can make the most impact. Kids can't wait for a return to normal. They need care now. By participating in tonight's festivities, whether you're a sponsor or placing bids on all the fun auction items, you're helping St. Luke's Children's address the most challenging healthcare issues of today while preparing for those to come tomorrow. With your help, we're raising critical funds needed to save more kids' lives and protect our collective future. I invite you to browse the auction items, raise your virtual paddles, and I encourage you to share your participation with your friends and family. To our sponsors and everyone who made this event possible, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Without you, this life-saving work simply would not be possible. To those who are Kid for Night first-timers, you're in luck. We look forward to getting to know you and delivering on our community's shared vision to transform children's health for generations to come. It's a wonderful event. Because of your generosity and support, together we can envision a day when we'll be able to say yes to hope, yes to care, and yes to a cure for every child. Thank you, and back to you, Larry.
I like that, Jeff. Thank you. You know, one way you can support tonight is by registering to bid and donate by heading over to stlukesonline.ejoinme.org/KFan2021. That web address is also at the bottom of your screen. 100% of every donation you make this evening goes directly back to supporting kids right here in our communities. At the heart of St. Luke's Children's is the belief that all children should have access to the highest quality health care services available, regardless of their condition or their family's ability to pay. We are the most remote children's hospital in the geographic United States, serving patients and families from all across Idaho, Eastern Oregon, Northern Nevada, and Western Montana. When faced with a child's medical crisis or chronic illness, the availability of a local children's hospital helps families stay within existing support systems and familiar surroundings and habits. Without St. Luke's Children's, many families would have to travel out of state for specialized care. In addition to exceptional clinical care, St. Luke's Children's offers unreimbursable services like child life, music therapy, our children's hospital school, and care coordination. One special patient whose family uses many of these services at St. Luke's Children's is Miss Hadley. Let's listen to her story.
My name is Hadley. I'm 8 years old. I like to draw with my sister, play with my friends, and I like to play with my chicks.
Hadley is my hero. She's the bravest kid I know.
Hadley is a energetic, charming, curious little girl. She's really polite. She's smart.
Her and her sister Stella get along so well. They're so cute together. She's just a very loving girl that just kind of rules with things.
When I grow up, I want to be a phlebotomist and am a singer.
She has never felt sorry for herself. She doesn't even realize she's sick, I would say. I mean, she has dealt with so much in her short span of life that I don't think she remembers a time where she didn't feel a little bit off. She was a very chubby, happy baby. She was weighing in at 21 pounds at 6 months old. Up until that point, she was progressing like any normal baby. She had gone from 21 pounds at 6 months to 19 pounds at a year and a half and hadn't grown at all, wasn't pulling up, still refused food, was very sick. And then, you know, lo and behold, to find out a year and a half later, she has an extremely rare orphan disease that no one's ever heard of. It was pretty shocking.
Hadley has a very rare condition that doesn't affect very many kids. And basically, we all have a lot of cells in our body, and there are certain components in the cells that her body's not able to get rid of.
In cystinosis, cysteine doesn't get broken down properly in the lysosomes, and over the years, it builds up and it starts to form crystals, and it can damage a lot of the tissues of the body.
Specifically, her kidneys and her eyes are the two main organs that it affects the most.
The fact that there was only 2,000 people in the world and, you know, no doctors have hardly ever heard of this disease, so we felt really hopeless, really scared, unsure of the future. She was 2.5 when we moved to Boise, and we had a stint there where she was in St. Luke's back-to-back a few times. There were physicians and specialists who could actually handle Hadley's disease.
Our office was one of the first offices that they came to, and so I met their family and was able to get to know them and help them integrate into the St. Luke's health system.
It's really neat to see the energy and dedication she and her family have to getting really thorough, good treatment.
When she comes into the clinic, she always knows her medications. She can list them off to us, which is pretty amazing. She's on a lot of medications that she has to take multiple times a day.
They look at Hadley and they ask her questions first. You know, obviously I fill in, but I so appreciate that they give her the respect and courtesy to talk to her as the patient, and she really likes that.
I like St. Luke's Children's because they have nice doctors, and when I get my eye appointment, I get to watch movies.
We all talk about how fortunate we feel to live in a community that has such great access to care for our kids, because it's not the same as adults. The support and the love for St. Luke's and the fact that we have a children's hospital and now a trauma center for kids, I mean, it's just, we're so lucky.
These families are going through so much, and when people donate and help out, it makes things a little bit easier for these kids and their families. It gives time back to them, and that's something that, you know, you can never get back.
As Hadley's gotten older and changed, the doctors have kind of grown with her, and I never thought I'd be able to say that my daughter will outlive me, and I think she'll get to see me as an old lady, and I'll get to see her as a grown woman, and that's more than I could have ever hoped for.
I am brave, and I am a St. Luke's kid.
We are going the distance for the kids tonight, aren't we? Up next, let's hear from Dr. Kenny Bramwell.
Thank you, Larry, and greetings, Olympians. It looks like we've got quite the crowd with us here tonight. I'm Dr. Kenny Bramwell, System Medical Director for St. Luke's Children's, and I'd love to tell you more about how your participation in tonight's festivities benefits the incredible staff at St. Luke's Children's, and most importantly, the children in the communities we serve. In April of 2019, St. Luke's opens its doors to pediatric trauma patients. 2.5 years of focused preparation included over 10,000 hours of training and simulations by more than 350 providers and staff, including first responders, the emergency departments, the surgical specialists, the operating room, the PICU, pharmacy, laboratory, and blood bank. St. Luke's Children's launched pediatric trauma because Idaho is one of only 7 states without a verified pediatric trauma program. In the absence of such a program, children are treated in adult settings, leading to some complications. Pediatric trauma at St. Luke's means that children do better from these unfortunate events. The team's training was put to work immediately, and in the first year, St. Luke's saw 250 patients, over twice the volume we initially anticipated. These trauma cases have included falls, ATV accidents, livestock encounters, and other injuries. In the program's second year, through a pandemic that changed everything, pediatric trauma remained a vital service at St. Luke's Children's. As of April, we've seen 70 patients so far this year from across southern Idaho and the neighboring regions. Our volumes continue to grow, and heartbreakingly, the most significant change was the increase of non-accidental trauma or child abuse as these cases have grown during the pandemic. As the needs of our area's children have become clear, our providers have been there. They have worked to standardize care across our emergency departments, demonstrating a high level of readiness and full awareness. Beyond the care of patients on our Boise campus, we are also working with our other EDs throughout the system and region to improve the care of these pediatric patients wherever they initially arrive. By providing a dedicated pediatric trauma program and with your donations tonight, our patients will continue to have fewer operations, lower mortality, and improved outcomes. The volume of these patients and the diversity of their needs have proven how life-saving these services are in our community. We've got just under $500,000 left to close in on our goal of $5 million raised for our pediatric trauma program. Will you please join me in giving tonight? Take a special look at the Skybridge auction package. It's item 64, and I'd love to have dinner with you sometime. Thank you, Larry, and greetings, Olympians.
That would be a neat experience, Dr. Bramwell. Thank you. And don't forget, you can make your bids on this package until 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Some of our favorite friends of the St. Luke's Foundation purchased this package last year, and they had a gold medal-worthy experience. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. This unique dinner will take place on the new Sky Bridge that connects St. Luke's Children's Hospital with the new St. Luke's Idaho Elks Children's Pavilion, featuring outpatient specialty clinics and services. You'll enjoy dinner overlooking Avenue B and Jefferson Street near downtown Boise, looking toward the Boise foothills from 3 stories above the street. Dr. Kenny Bramwell and his wife Lori will host a dinner for 6 additional people prepared by Chef Jason Jones, who happened to be voted top chef in 2018 from Idaho Chefs de Cuisine. After dinner, Kenny will provide a brief tour of the Children's Pavilion and Children's Hospital. You'll finish off the evening with a champagne or sparkling cider toast and handmade chocolates on the Air St. Luke's helicopter pad that sits atop the 10th-floor patient care tower. So get in there and bid now on this exclusive auction package. Bidding ends at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. And speaking of auction items, our event chair, Kim Roth, is down at the Gymnastics Pavilion right now. She and her committee have worked hard to procure these fantastic items from all over our community. Kim, how's it going down there?
Hey, Larry, I'm down here at the gymnastics arena, and man, Coach Patricia and Coach Brian have some serious skills. They get a 10 out of 10 from me. My name is Kim Roth, and I'm the 2021 Kid for a Night Committee Chair, and I want to personally thank you all for attending tonight. It really means the world to have you here. Did you know that St. Luke's Children is the most remote children's hospital in the entire country? As a mom of 4, that makes me feel so lucky to have these vital services right here in our own backyard. Without St. Luke's, access to care would be much more limited, and many families would have to travel out of state to receive that life-saving care. With your donation tonight, the amazing staff at our hospital will be able to ensure that children in our community have access to the most advanced and comprehensive trauma services when they need it the very most. They'll be able to proactively care for the mental health needs of our children. Our day treatment center is seeing positive, meaningful outcomes in patients. For many of these young people, their hard work and dedication has resulted in the opportunity to participate more fully in their lives and look forward to their future. Thank you in advance for your generous support. The silent auction is live, my friends, so get in there, bid high, bid often. Thank you so much to our incredible team of volunteers, to our local businesses and friends for making this auction a reality. Larry, what's your favorite auction item this year?
Well, I think I'd like to make a bid on that fiery red scooter or that hot air balloon ride you donated, Kim. You know, there's a lot of other great items that I have my eye on as well, one of which is the Whitewater Wilderness Adventure for 2 people. This is a 6-day, 5-night rafting extravaganza on the Middle Fork of the Salmon River. It's worth over $6,400, and it's bound to be full of breathtaking scenery and some whitewater thrills along the way. Thank you to our friends at Adventure Sun Valley for this incredibly generous donation. And now let's give a big welcome to our live entertainment for this evening. St. Luke's Children's NICU graduates and world-famous singers, the Runaway Hamsters.
Our motto is, we help friends. Bass, drums, mic, check. Gotta get that guitar strumming. It's just fun. It makes us happy. And our motto is, we help friends. Well, we started out just a tiny band, and then we got better and recorded a song. And well, we get to sing and record songs. It's really fun, and when you're done for the day, you are really tired, but you still had fun while you were doing it. I like being a hamster because we get to help children out in hospitals. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Disappearal's not a word. It is now. Hamsters in the house. Hi, I'm Gabby, and I love fashion. I'm going to be a Hollywood starlet when I grow up because it's just going to be fun. I'm Abby, and I love animals. Hi, I'm Isabella, one of the Runaway Hamsters. I want to grow up to be a dolphin trainer and an orca trainer. I'm going to take care of animals when I grow up. I'm Riley, and I'm outnumbered by my sisters. Yeah, we're his brother, all right. I love doing my music, and I love Star Wars. Run away. It ain't easy being hamstacular. It's always good to have friends with you that support you and all that. And it's fun raising money for friends. It's just something I like to do.
It wouldn't be Kid for a Night without a game now, would it be, folks? Have you ever heard of a minute-to-win-it game called Face the Cookie? Of course you have. It's a true test of an athlete's balance and coordination. We'd love to have you play along with us tonight. Here's how it's going to work. Go grab that pack of Oreos you've got in your sponsor box or any cookie you've got lying around the house. We'll give you a few seconds to get set up. In a moment, you'll see a 1-minute timer flash up on the screen. When I say go, lean your head back and place a cookie in the center of your forehead. When the 1-minute timer begins, you got to move the cookie from your forehead to your mouth using only your facial muscles and the forces of gravity, no hands. We've asked a few of our sponsors to let us take a live look at them facing the cookie. On your marks, get set, go.
Yep. 4. All right, man. Oh, yep. Bend those legs. Go. Good. Okay.
Wow, folks, really a bunch of exceptional athletes out there tonight. You're all winners in my book. I don't think that was the only dessert you had all night, so thank you to your friends at Crave Delivery for the delicious meal this evening. If you love tonight's dinner, head on over to the auction and check out item number 85. It's dinner for a year from Crave. You can order for up to 5 people twice a month for an entire year. Whoever wins that gem, I'll be looking for my invite in the mail. Speaking of gems, I want to introduce you to 2 of St. Luke's finest volunteers and most enthusiastic cheerleaders, Patricia Kempthorne and Brian Weewers. You may remember their smiling faces alongside some epic pole vaulting and gymnastics moves from the invitation you received in the mail. Patricia and Brian, how did you 2 get involved with St. Luke's Children's?
Thank you, Larry. I'm very excited to be here tonight with Coach Brian. I've had the opportunity to be involved with the Children's Advisory Board for a little over 20 years. And it all started when my first child was born and we met the most fabulous pediatrician, Dr. Jerry Hirschfield. I worked with Jerry for many years on different things for children and families across the state. Both of my children and 4 out of my 5 grandchildren were born at St. Luke's, and I think I'm just going to be forever dedicated to this amazing organization and what it does for the families and children in Idaho.
I've been a member of the Children's Advisory Board now for 16 years, and I can tell you I think I've gotten more out of it than I've put in. I've truly enjoyed being on the board, meeting the wonderful people that are on the board as well as people at St. Luke's. I retired from Idaho Power a year ago, and I have to thank them very much. They were very supportive of me and my time that I contributed to St. Luke's. And I also have 2 children that were born at St. Luke's Children's Hospital, as well as a new grandson that was born there. So I have a lot of ties with St. Luke's Children, and I love being a part of it.
Well, thank you for your service. What's the importance of community support?
Well, community support is so important. You know, as we all know, there's been tremendous growth in our valley, as well as the state of Idaho, and the need for quality care continues to grow, not only for our adults, but for our children. And many people don't know that we have a state-of-the-art children's hospital right here in our own backyard. Some of these funds purchase important equipment that really is needed for successful treatment of our patients, like beds, so parents can sleep in the rooms with their sick child, or they have distraction machines to help providers draw blood from children or do other important tests and procedures to distract them from what's actually taking place. They also provide education and supplies for families to make them successful once they go home and take that child home. These things go above and beyond what the hospital is really required to provide, but they enhance the comfort and healing for the patient and their family.
We want you to know that your support through events like Kid for a Night do make a difference. But it's more than that. We work with a vast number of incredible volunteers. We rely on community partnerships to help ensure that we can deliver the highest quality care to our children and families in the state of Idaho. We have to be connected and have community input and support so that our hospital can continue to be a treasured asset. You all are part of this community, even by sharing awareness of our children's hospital with your friends and neighbors.
What's the one thing you'd like our viewers and donors to take away from this evening?
Well, Larry, it's hard to say just one thing, but one thing I really would like people to walk away from tonight is the fact that we do have a children's hospital here, and that awareness is very important. I've asked a lot of my friends and family members, name a children's hospital, and 9 times out of 10, it's not St. Luke's. And I really want people to understand how lucky we are to have a children's hospital here in the great state of Idaho. When we talk about children's hospitals in Idaho, we want people to think St. Luke's.
Yes. You're absolutely right, Brian. The dream of having a children's hospital started over 20 years ago. We're the most remote children's hospital in the country, and many of our children's services are located, yes, in the Treasure Valley, but the goal is that those services and the quality of care stretch across the system, no matter which St. Luke's location you're visiting. We not only care for the children, we care for the entire family. The family-centered care highlights the quality of children's health care in Idaho and helps these kids in the overall health and healing process.
The other thing, I guess, number 2 is we really want to thank everyone for your contributions, your sponsorships, your support. They're critically needed, and I can guarantee you they're used prudently to provide state-of-the-art care for our children and the comfort of their families.
Right.
So to all of you out there, thank you very much. So back to you, Larry.
See, I told you they were gems. Thank you, Brian and Patricia. Great information. Speaking of gems, our friends at the Diamond Girls donated this beautiful piece, item number 9, and it's a one-of-a-kind ring. It was inspired by this evening's event and all of the champions that it will benefit. And I just caught wind that there's a great little watch party over at the C.W. Moore building for Norco, and Scott Cantor, I think Jennifer would love this ring. You need the specs? Let me give you the specs, okay? 0.89 carat purple spinel set jewel in a 0.3 carat halo 14 carat white gold diamond ring. The high bidder will receive free cleanings annually, and if it needs to be resized, the Diamond Girls will take great care of you. Take a look at it. It's item number 9. There you have it. I want to tell you a little bit about a special item that we'd love to fund tonight with your help. Pediatric HAL is the world's most advanced pediatric patient simulator and the first capable of simulating lifelike emotions through dynamic facial expressions, movement, and speech. HAL is designed to help providers of all levels develop the specialized skills needed to effectively communicate, diagnose, and treat young patients in nearly all clinical areas. Having HAL as part of our trauma team's toolbox will help our providers learn, train, and simulate so they can help provide our St. Luke's Children's patients with the best possible care in even the most unimaginable situations. We'd love your help hitting our $25,000 fundraising goal for HAL tonight. We'll be collecting donations all night right here on your screen. You see that blue button to the right of all those great auction items that says click here to donate to St. Luke's Children's? That button takes you right to the opportunity to donate, and don't forget, every dollar counts. Every minute counts too. I've heard providers and staff at St. Luke's say things like, "We hope you'll never need the Children's Hospital, but we're here if you do." On a chilly April day in 2019, a family in Hammond, Idaho had no idea when they woke up that morning that their world would be turned upside down in just a few hours' time. 9-year-old Brinley needed pediatric trauma services, and there was no time to waste. Every minute, every second counted, and her every breath hung in the balance. Here's her story.
Kind of got off on a late start that morning. I trade and sell horses quite a bit, and had a guy stop in and looked at some horses, and then the crew was already getting cows gathered up.
We're branding calves, and so we'd been working it had been a long day. It was towards the end of it. We only had maybe 20 left to do out of 200.
I was facing the trap, and I seen Brinley walking back and forth, helping Jesse.
She was helping all day. She was tagging calves, and I told her, I could tell she was getting tired. And I was like, well, why don't you go play with the kids? You don't need to keep help. She's like, no, I'll finish. She was going back to get another tag, and I heard somebody yell, there's a cow, and I look up right when it hit her.
Hit her right in the side of the head, knocked her flat on her face, and then just stomped her right in her back.
We could tell, because we deal with animals all the time, that it was bad. We didn't know how bad.
We had relatively little information. We knew that we were responding for a pediatric female in the field who, it was reported, had been trampled or stepped on by livestock. On the way there, we got additional information that made it clear that she was very, very sick. The word that I cannot get away from when I describe what Brinley first looked like to us is blunt, and I apologize if it's too much, but the word is broken. Brinley was a very broken young lady in that moment in time. Her heart rate was way too high, her blood pressure was way too low. We knew that she was still bleeding internally. The amount of blood that we were seeing outside her body was not all that was going on. There was clearly internal bleeding going on. We knew that her right chest had seen a huge amount of trauma. It was not the right shape. There was clearly much more blood and air escaping from that part of her body than anybody wants to see, even an adult, never mind in a young lady.
Got in the helicopter and a lot of stuff went through my brain. Good, bad. A lot of it, like I ran my life what it'd be like without Brinley in it. I couldn't imagine it. She always makes everything so much better.
We landed on the helipad, unloaded the patient, brought her downstairs to a room filled with people who were tuned in and ready to help.
When Brinley first came into the pediatric ICU, she wasn't very responsive or opening her eyes. She wasn't herself.
She was in cardiac arrest, so her heart was barely beating. She had no pulse. We had to place a chest tube in order to evacuate a lot of blood and air that was compressing her lungs. Once we were able to do that, her lungs and her heart started working much better. We then diagnosed multiple injuries, including multiple rib fractures, a lung collapse. She had blood outside her lungs. Her lung had been injured severely. She had a liver injury, she had a spleen injury, and then later on, just a few days later, we were able to obtain a CT scan of her head because there was some concern that she wasn't waking up appropriately. And that was probably the scariest moment because we found multiple strokes in her brain that had likely come from the injury to her lung.
Everybody was super good about explaining things to us, even though it was the situation it was.
We were able to save her life and act very quickly because everything was ready and everyone was ready. And when you got nurses getting IVs, when you have surgeons placing chest tubes, when you have an ED physician doing an assessment, when you have somebody else recording, when you have somebody else hanging blood, there's a lot of stuff going on in a trauma bay that can be pretty intimidating, but it ran exactly the way it was supposed to.
To see that many people could work together and it be flawless. They call out who's doing what, and everybody's just a team.
With Brinley, like, she knew when her family was there and knew that they were with her, but she was definitely feisty. She worked hard, and that's probably why she was able to recover the way she was.
When she started coming to, the first thing, she just started giving everybody a hard time, and I was like, she's gonna be okay. I'm like, I can handle the rest of this as long as she still has that part of her personality. And then she just gradually kept getting better, and it was crazy how fast she bounced back.
She is doing phenomenal. She got out of the hospital into May. In that July, she actually showed her 4-H steer by herself. She was leading him around. He weighed 1,400 pounds. She has no fear.
She was starting to get her depth of her vision back, and being back with the horses. Animals, they're natural therapy for people.
Someone like Brinley, where she's in the hospital for 20 days, that can be very hard and very tiresome for a family. It's already stressful enough, and the fact that we can provide that care here is just so important to the communities and the families.
I think just being in the comfort of her home and family and friends and people keeping her active and going helped extremely.
We are one of the most rural pediatric hospitals in the entire country. You need so many specialties, and that includes pediatric surgery, ENT, urology, hematology, oncology, an intensive care unit. And so much of that played such a huge role with Brinley and her care.
But when these systems sit idle, available but idle, it can be easy to wonder if we really need them. But Brinley's case is a perfect example of where every single one of those elements in that chain was needed and functioned perfectly to result in a very good outcome for her. Had any one of those elements not been available, it's probable that Brinley's outcome would have been catastrophically different. The value of donors to us is they help us make sure that all of those elements are going to be available when they are needed.
St. Luke's Children's means everything to us. Without it, we wouldn't have a daughter. They said if we would have been 5 minutes out, she wouldn't have made it.
I'm just thankful for St. Luke's. Once you're in their hands, you just can look up. So it means the world.
Wow, what a story, and what an incredible little girl. You know, now's the time we've all been waiting for. I know we've got a house party going on over at the Jaden DeLuca Foundation, and up at Z's rooftop, Norco's having a house party, and all of you that are watching, if everybody throws in $100 that's watching, will raise over $10,000 more. But you know, we've heard some powerful stories. We've heard testimonials today from people that we've all been able to help through the hard work of the staff at St. Luke's Children's. And now we need your help in continuing with this work, fighting childhood illness and injury. We can't do it alone. This past year has been very difficult for all of us, but we now know how important the work that we're doing is to the people in our community. In order to do that, we need kind people like you, kind and generous people like you, to open up your hearts and your wallets and lend us a hand. Right now, let's do what we practiced earlier. Let's take out our phones. Most of you already have them out since I've seen you bidding and snapping some great photos, which is awesome. Thank you so much. Like TJ Clifford just given a donation. Thank you, TJ. Take your phone now, head over to the auction site. If you're not already there, that's KFAN, KFAN 2021.ggo.bid. And once you're there, on the right side of the screen, there's a blue box that says Donate to St. Luke's Children's, just like Ann Wilson just did. Thank you, Ann. So click that link, select the amount you'd like to donate, and then confirm, and you're all set. No matter how big or how small your donation, every dollar makes a difference, and we cannot do it without your help. Look at that. Wall-to-wall commercial flooring just gave a very generous donation, as did Susan Parrish. Wow, we've got quite a few. The numbers are going up. We're up to 9,100 now. Thank you, Kathy Pound and Mark Rich and Ann Wilson again. Thank you so much for those donations. Let's make it happen, folks. Many thanks to Chris Roth. Many thanks to all of you that are watching right now and participating. Remember, you can keep bidding on items. You can keep making donations up until 9 o'clock tomorrow evening. So make sure you tell your friends and let's keep this going. Let's keep texting in your donations. Judith Gray, thank you very much for that generous donation. Shauna, thank you very much. Shauna Hofer. Joe Forney's also made a generous donation. Thank you, Alice Wren. Really great donations coming in now. We're bumping up over 12,000 now, on our way to that $30,000 goal for Hal. You saw the video. You saw how important it is. And if you know what I'm saying, every dollar makes a difference, and we can't do it without you. Thank you, Alice. Thanks, Susan Parrish. Thanks, Michael and Marie Gillespie. All your donations make a big difference. To put it into perspective a little bit, a $500 iPad can help add 1,000 words to a child with autism's vocabulary. That's right, $500 donation, that iPad can help add 1,000 words to a child with autism's vocabulary. And that's all about communication. Did you know that a $100 gift card can allow access to more than 100 apps to help foster learning development and continual education? $100. $50 a month can provide one child an hour of individual attention with a mental health professional. So if you wanted to sponsor a child for $50 a month over the course of a year, give $600 if you can. But again, $50 a month provides that child an hour of individual attention, which is so critical, as we all know. $25 a month can provide one child who has cystic fibrosis with nutritious snacks at school. Just $25 a month. And if you want to sponsor a child for a whole year, that'd be a $300 gift. $10 a month can provide a student games and art supplies to boost their creativity and self-esteem. Just $10 a month, or $120 for a whole year. So I think you see what I'm talking about. Every dollar does make a difference. I see my pal Rick Shipton just made a nice, generous donation. And that guy, if you want a bagel, he makes them fresh almost every day. Diane Graybeal, thank you so much for that donation. We can't thank you enough. There's watch parties going on all over town. We're seeing donations coming in pretty quickly. We're up over $16,000. Thank you, Deanna Black. Appreciate that. We appreciate it. Of course, TJ Clifford, I might have mentioned earlier, gave a generous donation. Vanessa, thank you so much for that donation as well. Did you know that just 5 years ago, St. Luke's Children's was seeing 90,000 patient visits, and today that number has grown to more than 130,000. That's a big number. And tonight we have a big goal. It's close to $30,000 for the kids on that one particular part that we'd like to see, named Hal. We'd like to be able to impact all of those children by providing them with the top-notch care for which St. Luke's is known and, of course, loved. But I don't want you to think about that big goal so much as you can think about this one step that you can all take right now to make an impact on one life, on thousands of lives in our community. Many thanks to all of you putting out donations right now. Deanna Turner, thank you, getting us up over almost to 19,000 on this particular goal. Sheila Hennessy, thank you, always so kind, always such a big part of this organization, and we really appreciate your support. Again, please consider a donation of any amount. You've helped us raise over $350,000 for the kids at St. Luke's Children's. Thank you. And remember, bidding and pledging continues until 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Boise Smile Design just gave a nice donation. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, because who knows if the help you are giving now might be for someone you know. Orthodontics at Bridge Tower, thank you for your donation. Thank you all for your donations. Thank you all. We're going to hit that $25,000 goal. Excuse me. Tyler Burpee, thank you so much for that donation. We're up to almost 26,000. Stephen and Deborah Hanks, always so very generous, really helping us get over that goal that we're working so hard to hit tonight. Cron, your help is appreciated. Thank you all for helping us go the distance and reach the finish line. We're almost there. Keep giving if you can. Herb and Judy, thank you so much for that donation. Bay Emelson, Terry Self, thank you so much. Let's keep those going. Let's keep it happening. Thank you, Jeffrey Taylor, for that donation. Thank you so much. Again, I'm crushing. Kim Malvick, love you. Thank you so much for that donation. Greatly appreciated. Every dollar does make a difference. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, thank you, thank you for helping us go the distance. We all did it together and reach the finish line. Good night. Continue bidding. Continue pledging. Got till 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Good night, everyone, and thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Damn, what
Thank
happened
you.
there?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Started crying.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Isn't it St. Luke's Kid for a Night?
Not for another 364 days.
Oh, it's June 3rd, 2022. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's gonna be sweet. Bye, y'all. Thank you. Oh, that.